queue up that tweet.
In 3, 2. When we're live. You messed it up already. We're already live.
COVID.
Remember when I say let's go live? It means that we're actually live. Let's see. There we go.
Great news.
Boom. And we're live. I see the bits coming in. God, we are so late, Lewis. Unbelievable. Look at this. 12:45. No one's going to watch today. I blame you. Talking too much about your feelings.
Well, I'm a very sensitive fellow.
All right. You want some tweet action here, Lewis, before we get going?
Oh, man. I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
I have got insatiable hunger for the tweet.
Well, you don't have to tell me. That's something I've learned about you. You just can't wait to get your hands on those sweet tweets. We got Mark Lapointe here. He says, hey. We got Ulysses Martinez. Hey, y'all. Captain Futures here. Mark T's here with a very chipper hello. Carlos Linz is here. We've been waiting for Carlos. Reese Grundy. Hi, gentlemen. Hope you are both well. From Manchester, UK. Oh, okay. Hello, Governor. Oh, look at that. Level remix of the very happy hello, Govs. All right, guys. We got an exciting show for you all today. We're going to wait for some more people to pile on in. Did you get that tweet action going, Lewis?
Is it ready? Is it ready?
It already went out. Oh, wait, no. There you go, Lewis. I must have missed the button.
Can't
with
do much if you don't actually press the button.
Yeah, I must have accidentally missed. That's embarrassing. We got a whole lot of action to talk about with you guys. Oh, Mario A's from Mexico. Are you tweeting us from or commenting from a beach in Mexico? You on the beach?
God, that sounds great.
Yeah? Yeah, what part of the Mexico do you want to go to? Guadalajara.
Anyone where they're not actively shooting at people who are walking down the beach. Some disturbing things about cartel wars down there lately. Make Pike County look like a...
It's almost starting to sound like San Francisco down there.
Oh, jeez.
He's from Querétaro. Haven't heard of that place.
How's it spelled?
Yeah. Querétaro. Did I say that right? How's that accent? Pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds pretty legit, man.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get going here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I think you probably all heard the big news this week. Big news. So rather than tell you what we're gonna talk about and then tell you again in 5 seconds, let's just cue up Mrs. You know who? Oh, Mrs. D. Hola. Oh, Mrs. D. Going a little with some Spanish there, huh? Oh yes. I had a very sensual vacation with one Mr. El Caney on the beach. We were both topless. Ah! Gross. We did not need to hear that part, but I'm glad that you guys had a good time. I'm glad that El Caney's still with us. I thought he was a goner, but apparently he's just been on a beach in Mexico with Mrs. D. All right, Mrs. D, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and get the music queued up here, and we will get this show rolling in 3, 2. Hello, and welcome to Hillcast, the best 30-plus minute album conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, here from Elijah. Join me today. Where is he? Oh, there.
Whoa.
There he is. And in preparation of Apple's September event, he's putting extra slop into the Cultomac Writers Trough. They have got to make sure they have the energy to type for 3 to 4 days straight with no sleep or yard time.
Spike it with some Red Bull.
He's a stickler. He's the best in the business. Managing editor of Cultomac, Lewis Waltz is here.
I like the word stickler.
No? But I feel like that perfectly describes you.
You don't get it. You don't get to hear it used every single day, and it's like very accurate.
Did you say you like the word stickler?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said you don't like it.
No, I do like it. In fact, I think I might have even put that on my resume at one point.
You're a stickler for details. I mean, that much is true.
Guaranteed stickler.
All right. Well, we have an exciting show for you all today. We can't just keep small talking here, Lewis. Lewis and I have been doing the show for an hour, and then we realized we should probably go live.
Talk big.
So we were talking about all sorts of life topics. And I was like, dude, we should probably go live because it's almost 1 and we haven't even started. But we got a big show for you all today. I'm sure you've already heard. We got the September 7th event coming down the pipes, or so it seems. So saith Bloomberg, which means that it's almost certainly going to happen, which means iPhone 14 is right around the bend, along with other hardware, which we'll talk about. Let's see here. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Well, our hardware expectations, of course. We'll talk about another really hot item that is something that you're going you're gonna feel bad that you missed out on it. It's a new Apple product that you probably didn't even hear about, which is already sold out, and it's something that Lewis was trying to get his hands on, and unfortunately he didn't act fast enough, and now he's gonna be on standby waiting for them to restock. We gotta do another Apple stock update because things are just going crazy, and there's been another big development in the world of Apple stock, and then we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a very deep look. A very honest look into the world of Mark Zuckerberg's Meta. I don't know if you've done any research around this topic, but they spent a lot of money on Meta,
It's only like 10 billion so far, right?
only around $10 billion, and actually the progress that they're making has been truly inspiring to see. I just can't wait to live in that universe, right, Lewis?
Oh man, it's gonna be a dream world.
Yeah, I mean the graphics power that I've seen is just unparalleled.
It's astonishing.
Astonishing is the right word for that. So we'll take a little detour into that topic at the end of the show and have some laughs. Let's see here. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and give a very hearty thank you to Squarespace for supporting this episode. Squarespace.com/cultcast. You guys might, those of you who are watching, might see that we got Lewis in the browser view now. It only took me a year to figure out why it was broken, and it was like the most simple thing.
I'm sure the internet just breathed a giant sigh of relief.
So now you can see both of us when we're in browser view instead of just me, which I know is going to be a major bummer for some of you. But Lewis is here now too.
I'm terrified to even look. Oh my God, look at us both
How do you look?
stacked up like a.
That's a good looking pair right there. That's a good looking
Jeez.
duo right there.
So hurt my eyes.
We got him. We got the Psy guy himself, President of Saigon.
That's a good one.
Prime Minister of Saigon. We got the Psy guy, Lewis Wallace, the most relaxing guy in podcasts. All right, everyone. Are you ready to grow your business? Are you ready to do something? Quit slacking. Quit being a slacker. Get up there on squarespace.com/cultcast. Get your website going, dude. Do you still not have a website? And the reason that you've been procrastinating is because you don't want to do it. It's going to be a lot of work. And you got other things to do, but it's so fast to build a Squarespace website. I mean, I did it in like a couple hours, and I dived in and I heavily rearranged everything. You don't even have to do any of that. You can have a website up in 5 minutes that will look professional, will look great on any device that visits. As you all know, I'm using it for cultcloth.co, which is the website where I sell coat cloth, and it's just been absolutely sparkling, seamless, bulletproof. I never have any issues with it. I've literally never had a single issue with it. It just works. The orders come in. It's like the closest that you can get to having a U.S. Mint. It just prints money, and all for a very reasonable price. And you can start a business to promote your website. You can sell anything, market your business. You can create a coaching service where people can book your time online, and you can teach them about your skill set. You can create a members website and charge a membership fee to your members. You can create a blog. You can create a website that promotes your resume, a one-page impactful website to promote yourself to potential employers, especially if you're a student. It's a good idea to do something like this. It kind of makes you stand out from the crowd, because when you put this stuff on a resume or on your LinkedIn, people will go visit it, and you'll see the traffic, and you'll be like, oh, shoot, that prestigious business I applied for, they clicked, So it's a good idea if you're trying to get a job. And you can do this all with your Squarespace website. It's easy to set up. It's easy to maintain. If you want to bring in contributors, you can do that. And you can do it all at squarespace.com/cultcast. If you like what you have after your free trial, just use code cultcast at checkout. You'll get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. And I do a year of service at a time, so I get an additional discount, and that's real nice. Squarespace.com/cultcast. All right, Lewis, let's kick it off with the top story. This is what everyone wants us to be talking about right now, so I'm sending it your way. The September 7th event. It's all but a sure thing at this point, right, Lewis?
Yeah, I mean, apparently, our good friend, great friend, Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg is reporting that Apple is planning to have the event on September 7th. A little weird because it's a Wednesday, just 2 days after Labor Day.
Yep.
And also the week that Apple is mandating that its corporate workers return to its office. I don't know if you heard about this. It's caused a little bit of
I
a
almost put that in the
kerfuffle.
show notes, but I was like, I don't think anyone cares about this story, but it is a big story because I really wonder how competitive Apple is going to remain to employees when they're forcing everyone to come back into the office.
Yeah,
Because
well,
people do not want to go back.
they might lose a few of the underachievers.
Well, I mean, they already lost like that super talented AI guy who
Oh,
who's-
right, that
who's-
was,
yeah, he said
and that was the reason for he split.
that was
too,
like
right?
one of his primary reasons. He was like, I don't want to go back to the office. I'm paraphrasing here. I don't want to go back to the office. I don't think that this is a healthy decision for employees. And he left and he went to Google. Now, I would guess that Google's compensation package had something to do with that decision, right?
Well, yeah, and, I mean, Google is doing basically the same thing as Apple. I mean, I think they already have a back in the office.
Do they?
Mandate?
But
Yeah,
but
that's what I.
doesn't Google have some program where you can stay working from home if you request it? Because Apple doesn't seem like they're letting anyone do that.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I know in the story that I was reading about it, they were saying that several companies are now doing this, and they're facing some pushback. But whatever.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
I know a lot of companies like Facebook or Facebook Meta, they're planning to have at least 50% of their workforce full time remote from here on out. And Microsoft has a program in place to let you work from home if you want to. So it's a pretty big competitive advantage to not force people back into the office, in my humble opinion.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think Apple. Yeah, I mean, think about that. They built that giant ring, and the whole reason that they built it was like to allow people to have spontaneous, serendipitous meetings, and get to make the magic happen, right?
Right,
And,
right. I
the
get it.
magic does not happen in Zoom very frequently.
I don't know, man. I mean, it is better to be in person. I totally agree. But now that people have gotten a taste of work from home life, you get to see your kids. You don't have to commute. There's just so many benefits to working from home. And I know it's not for everyone, but a lot of people, now that they've done it for a long time, they're used to it. And it's going to be very hard to force them back into the office. I mean, unless we have like some really serious economic downturn where it's hard to get a job and the only way to get a job is to go back to the office, I think that would probably get people back in. But barring that, and even if that happens, I'm still not totally convinced that the shift in culture is not going to be permanent. And it's funny about the headquarters thing that you were saying with Apple. So REI is this really major clothing retailer in the U.S. Their headquarters are in the Seattle area. They make clothes. They sell outdoor equipment, and they built this really big, fancy headquarters. And then COVID happened, and they decided to sell this huge, fancy headquarters that they built for themselves. They sold it. I think they made a profit on it.
Is that where you're broadcasting from now? How much did you pay?
Well, it cost them like $200 million to buy it or to build it, and I gave them $1,500. I said,
Nice.
look, I said, look,
Deal.
you have no use for this place. So I'm sitting in like a 750,000 square foot facilities. I'm by myself, but it was a good price. I mean, it does cost me like $700,000 a month to heat and cool it, but
Hey, you got the rock climbing wall. Everything's cool.
but that rock climbing wall is cool, and I do use it, occasionally. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, this happened in September. REI announced its completed sale of its newly completed corporate campus in Bellevue for a purchase price of $390 million. So Apple could potentially do this if people don't want to come back.
They're not gonna.
But they're not gonna. I mean, and to your point, it's like they built this huge, expensive headquarters, and now they're like, well, we got to fill it, so you got to come back. Anyway,
Yeah. So, that's the week that it's happening. Supposedly, the event's happening the week that everybody has to go back.
Yep.
Going to be the beginning of big season. Lots of new products coming. New Macs, iPads, Apple Watches. But of course, typically the iPhone and the Apple Watch released at the same time.
right.
First, kickoff of the season, right? So that's what we're expecting.
Yeah.
That's what the latest rumor is. Supposedly, they've already started recording it. Once again, it's going to be probably nothing but a 1 hour infomercial or 2 hours, maybe, probably one. They cut these down to one now, didn't they? only
depends on
WWDC is like 2 hours.
it depends on how much products they have to announce. Before we talk about the actual products themselves in a little bit more detail, can I tell you my theory about this?
Yeah, love to hear it.
So in the age of COVID, I don't think that Apple can ever go back to live events. People are so freaked out by COVID that if there are any outbreaks, there are going to be a lot of people who won't be able to participate or won't want to participate in any kind of Apple live event, right? And so Apple has no choice but to keep these things pre-recorded, because if they're pre-recorded, they can make them on their own schedule. They can swap people in and out of them if they need to, and then they can release them whenever they want. Whereas a live production, like what happens if TC is supposed to be on stage and he gets COVID? Well, now all of a sudden, how are they supposed to do an event? They have to cancel the whole thing, and it was rehearsed. There was all this money that went into it. There's no way they can go back to live events. They have to do recorded events from here on out. I mean,
you think COVID's never going to go away?
I
You
don't.
think it's just going to be a thing that keeps us from doing things in a normal way forever?
I hope not. I hope not. But I could see it being like this for the next 5 years, to be honest with you. I mean, because people are so COVID is serious, right? But it's becoming less and less serious, it seems. But there are a lot of people who can't catch it for a multitude of reasons, or are really
Right.
hesitant to want to be around people who have had COVID or any of that stuff, right? You're supposed to quarantine and all this stuff. Even still, you're supposed to quarantine. And is that going to end in the next year? Like, maybe. I hope so. But it doesn't seem like it's going to. And so if it doesn't, and if we don't get to a point where people are like, yeah, it's COVID, it's like a cold, right? Like, that's the place that we would need to get to in order for Apple to have live events again. And I don't
Right.
see that happening anytime soon, personally.
Ugh, that's depressing. Why'd you have to say that out loud?
Yeah, well, I just wanted people to hear my theory so I could pat myself on the back when it comes to fruition.
It's still, I mean, it's for sure still kicking around. People are still getting it.
Yep.
My wife went to a music convention and, went
she
to
get
a
it?
party. She, oddly enough, she was not wearing a mask, and everybody was, like her. And I mean, like during certain events, right? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't mandatory, but like they went to a party, and her friend who's like, wearing a mask as much as she can, which is impossible if you're at a party and eating and drinking, right?
Yep.
But she's telling my wife, like, oh, you're gonna get me COVID. Well, my wife left town a couple days earlier, came back home, and she gets a call from her friend. Her friend is there. She's got COVID. And so of course my wife goes and gets the test. No COVID, no COVID, no good. Yeah, but like it was another one of those things where like this party and 8 people that they were all talking to, 8 of them got it.
Wow.
It's just it is unbelievable.
See, that's my point. It's like, it's just
Yeah,
so...
I know what you mean.
It's contagious, and we got Richard Field in the comments here. He's saying the pre-recorded events are so much better, so slick and well produced. I kind of agree. In a way, I do like their pre-recorded events better because they're not as contrived, and you don't get Tim Cook whispering his points all the time to try to make a passionate point like, this is our best iPhone ever. So I feel like in a way,
No,
it
now
is
now
more
he's got
entertaining.
5 takes to get that just
Yeah,
right.
now he can whisper
Just
it.
right.
Yeah, they're
The
like, that
exact
was
right walk across the stage. I'm so excited. We can't wait to see how you use this to create things.
Yeah, now he can do it without an audience
So
there, a
excited.
live audience. And doing it live, Bill O'Reilly can attest. It's tougher. It's tougher than doing it pre-recorded because you got to do it live, and you got the different energy. You might be anxious because if you screw up, everyone's going to see.
I mean, yeah, they could definitely do hybrid stuff, but I don't know. I've got a real like I loved them at first because I was like, wow, that's really creative, great camera work, everything looks great. Like wow, they've got this down to a science. Now it's like, yeah, they've got the infomercial down to a science.
They have elevated the medium, though. You have to admit. I mean,
Yeah,
their event videos are unparalleled.
I know it's way better. If you go and watch like a Samsung event or a Google event, it's like, oh God, really? I mean, Apple's a million times better at it, but to me, like that whole feeling of it being completely canned, just I don't know. I remember when Will Smith slapped whatever his name was, Chris Rock.
Do I remember? Yes, I do remember.
You remember that?
I do remember that event.
I mean, I wrote some piece about that, right? That's what live events are about. I mean, not
Yep.
somebody getting slapped. It's the chance for some, the feeling that something might happen that would be different.
It creates an event. It's something that you don't want to miss.
It's
You
an
want to
energy.
experience. Yeah, exactly.
An energy
I'm
that is
totally with you. Yeah.
entirely missing from the pre-recorded infomercial things.
Yeah.
And I just every time that I have to watch one now, I'm just like more and more kind of despondent because it doesn't have the same vibe. And it's not that I, want something bad to happen. It just feels so calculated.
Yeah. Imagine how incredible it would be if during the presentation of the new iPhone, all of a sudden Will Smith came up and slapped Tim Cook. How amazing would that be? That would be one of the best moments on television.
That would be.
Although Tim Cook would just be like, psh, he would just take it,
bang,
and it would be like when you slap the Terminator. He would just like slowly move his head back into position. He'd have like
full squint.
He would be so squinty you wouldn't even be able to tell if his eyes are still open, and he'd have his mouth in that half frown, and then he'd probably kill Will Smith, I think. He'd whip him around, he'd get him into that chokehold, that TC chokehold that he's been reserving for John Prosser, and just choke him out live there on the stage.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
This is going seriously off the rails. Okay. Let's finish this story. By the way, I absolutely love having you in browser mode. I talk about better energy. It's like instead of just having me be here by myself, it's like now we're both here together. It's like we're almost in the same room together.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow.
This is so much better than just having me. Yeah.
Oh, dear heavens.
Okay, let's finish the story. Lewis, it's 1:00 and we haven't even gotten past the first story.
Yeah, so what else are we going to say here?
Let's talk about
get a little
iPhone 14.
stat here about iPhone making up more than half of Apple's total sales. Okay, yeah, I think we all know that.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about what we're expecting?
Yeah, let's talk about. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
it's kind of a regurgitation of.
Let's regurgitate this story.
Okay. What do we expect?
Well, you didn't mention mention Apple Watch at all. So we got.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned Apple.
Oh, did you?
Watch.
Maybe I just didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Did you already go through all this stuff?
Yeah, the event is going to be iPhone, Apple Watch, maybe something else, right? But they always release iPhone and Apple Watch together because they're tied to each other. So anyway, what we got coming? 4 iPhones, iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Plus or Pro or Max or something, a bigger regular iPhone 14. No mini, sorry. Unfortunately, the mini appears to be a goner. iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro Max. Those are going to be the ones that are going to, supposedly ditch the notch and just have the pill hole, which I'm
actually really excited about that, to be honest with you.
You must be the only person in the world
honestly,
that's excited
dude,
about the pill hole.
I'm just done with the notch. I'm
done with the notch.
I'm done with it. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I've tolerated it, but I'm done with it. I want it to be gone. It's such an ugly eyesore.
Oh, come on, man! It looks like the devil horns. It's
does.
metal.
It's not very metal to me. It looks like a compromise, a design compromise, like an interesting. How do I say this? It would have been a more innovative design to figure out a way to include the hardware in the screen without the notch, rather than just be like, well, we need to put this stuff in the screen. What do we do? Well, we'll just make a notch and we'll make the whole screen bigger, and then we'll leave this big, ugly black thing sitting right at the top, intruding on your menu bar, and we'll have to get rid of the battery meter and all this stuff. It's like, well, that wasn't exactly top-notch design engineering.
Top-notch.
It was a yeah. Oh,
you're so good. You do it without even thinking.
69.
Oh, that was the wrong button, but you know what? That still works. I was trying to get George Takei, but I pressed the wrong button. But you know what? Bill and Ted, I think that their excitement is exactly how I was feeling about that. Yeah, man. Like I think the whole I'm doing it again. The pill hole design is a much more elegant design solution, rather than having that ugly notch. And the thing that I hate about the notch is the fact that it takes up real estate in prime territory on your screen. Especially, and I said this in previous shows, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, especially on the 14-inch MacBook Pro. That screen, you lose a huge slot of that screen, area of that screen at the top, And if you use a lot of widgets at the top, like with iStat menus or something, well, now all of a sudden you have way less real estate. And it's like, for what? For this big ugly notch? So I'm all about getting rid of it.
I can't believe you're that much of a notch hater.
I freaking hate the notch, man. I didn't used to hate it this much, but I really don't like it.
I came to appreciate it over the years.
Really? I mean, it's a compromise. It's something that they had to do in
Sure.
order to make the screen bigger. I get that, but now I'm ready for it to be gone.
But that's why I don't like the pill hole, because it's like even more of a I don't know.
What are you
just-
talking
I
about?
don't think it
You'll,
looks as good,
you'll barely even notice the pill hole.
except for the circle in the pill.
Well, it's going to be a lot smaller than a notch.
Okay, well, we'll see. You know, and maybe
Okay.
someday they'll get it right, and they'll be able to put all that stuff behind the lens, or not the lens, but the screen, and we'll have the beautiful, perfect slab of glass.
That's the dream we all have.
Yeah,
But I
the
think
dream.
this is a good step in the right direction. And anyway, so let's talk about we also should mention the 48 megapixel camera for the iPhone 14 Pro models.
Yeah, and also the Pro and Pro Max are supposed to get the new chip,
Right.
whereas, you know, the normie iPhones are gonna
The iPhone
stuck with-
13, iPhone 13 Part 2.
Yeah,
That's what they should have called it.
the sequel.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the
Right.
exact same phone essentially. Just there's going to be enough small changes to trick normies into believing they're getting an iPhone 14 when in fact it is just an iPhone 13.
Different colors. Yeah. So the other great thing that the Pro models are going to get is probably a price hike, like $100.
That's
pop.
right.
That's nice. It's nice to, you know, I can't pay enough for this Apple stuff. I need to pay more and more and more.
Well, that's actually good news if you're not planning on buying the Pro phone. And just to kind of reiterate what Lewis is saying here, so there was a story out this week from an analyst, Dan Ives, right? That it's actually only the iPhone 14 Pro models that are getting a price hike, and the iPhone 14 models are going to remain the same price as the iPhone 13 models, which is good news for most people. And it's funny because, well, one of the reasons they're probably not changing the price is because it's an iPhone 13. So they're going to just leave it the same price. Whereas normally they would have dropped the price, but instead they're going to just rebrand it an iPhone 14 and give it a couple of software tweaks and sell it to you as an iPhone 14 at the same price. So it seems like it's a good deal. But for those of us that's got to have the best, it's going to be a price hike for the 14 Pro. And I don't know, man, that's a pretty big price tag for a phone. Now you're looking at iPhone 14 Pro costing $1,100. The Pro Max is $1,200. Now I get that most people don't buy their phones outright. They don't care. Like they're gonna just rent their phones, you know, or they'll spread it out over 2 years of payments. So like, which is part of Apple's strategy. It's like if you let people pay for it monthly, it doesn't matter what the phone costs because most people will just buy it on payment.
Yeah.
So it won't matter. But if you pay for phones outright like I do, it's like this is a major bummer, man.
Yeah. So you want to talk about the watches then?
Oh yeah, let's at least plug the watches a little bit since I know everyone listening to this I feel like knows what they're gonna get, but we should at least cover. it for
Speaking
people.
of things that are a lot like existing things,
Yeah.
the Apple Watch Series 8 basically sounds like the Apple Watch Series 7S.
Yeah. Part
Yeah. Basically, sounds like that's going to be the exact same kind of design, same screen. It sounds like what they're doing with these Apple Watch chips is changing the name of the chip, but barely changing what the actual chip can do. So, well, you know, minor performance boost. Supposedly we're going to get an Apple Watch SE. The most exciting thing is the, you know, rumored rugged Apple Watch that, you know, we'll probably see that at this event.
Yep.
The question is, what is that going to look like? Is that going to be some kind of Garmin freak show, or is it going to be just basically a titanium Apple Watch with a slightly bigger
I think it's
battery?
going to be that.
The
I
second-
think it's going to be slightly larger. It's going to be the same form factor. It'll probably be made of titanium, and it will be marketed as more rugged because of the materials that are used, not because of the design change. It's going to be the exact same watch, I bet.
that's going to be a little weird because I mean, there's been so much speculation that it's going to be a radical change.
I
and
hope
something-
so. I hope it is, but that's not
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah,
thinking. It's
the
gonna be.
latest stories make it sound like that. Like, oh, the rugged part is that it's titanium, which already existed,
Yeah.
but apparently they're killing off that in the regular Apple Watch.
I would love if they brought back the ceramic edition, that white ceramic edition watch. Remember that thing that was
I
$1,000?
never even saw one of those things in person.
I never saw one in person. Actually, I take that back. I think I did see it at the Apple Store, but I never saw anyone wearing one in the wild. But it was a beautiful watch.
Didn't they have like a putty gray one too? Ceramic?
I don't remember putty gray being
I don't.
in the
They
lineup.
probably
but
didn't call it that.
putty gray,
Not
yeah.
a great sound, is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
so
be
bigger
really
battery, larger watch. It's gonna look even more clownish on your wrist.
Listen to you.
The big one, the 44 millimeter is already too big for most people, but they wear it because they have to have it. That was one of the hardest decisions I ever made to go from 44 millimeter to
Wow.
41 millimeters or 40 millimeters. Is that right? Do I have those measurements right?
They're all. It depends on which series you got. They're all like.
Yeah, the newer series though. I'm getting my millimeters mixed up.
I think it's
44
45 and.
No. It's 44 and 40. 44 and 40. I think it used to be 45 and 41. Anyway,
Sure.
so I got the 40 millimeter for my watch, and I was like, oh, I can't get it. It's too small and dainty, and it's also cheaper. It's not the biggest and best that they have. Fantastic decision. This watch is the perfect size for my forearm. You know, it's like it doesn't overpower your forearm, and most people who get the larger edition watch, the 44 millimeter, I feel it looks rather clownish, to be honest.
Just because I'm a stickler, I'm going to point out that the Apple Watch Series 7 is 45 millimeter or 41 millimeter.
The Series 7 is?
Yeah.
Did I get that wrong?
45 and 41.
How dare you correct me
The 6
live on the air. We
is
should
the
take this
same as the
offline.
SE, 44 and 40.
So
If I'm
they
a stickler to the show, this is what happens.
So they increased
stickle.
it. You are a stickler in the mud, if you ask me. Gall. Can't believe that you corrected me live on the show. You know I like to take corrections like this offline. Okay, so 45 and 41. I actually didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was just looking at this the other day down at the Costco. I'm looking at the watch, and I'm like, I hold it up to mine, and they're almost exactly the same. It's just slightly smaller black ring around it, right?
Yeah, right. The screen's
know.
bigger, right? It's 1 millimeter bigger.
that all important 1 millimeter. And in most watch faces, you can't even tell, right? Because if you have a black watch face, you can't tell. Anyway.
Wesley Davenport is saying, looks like Lewis got dressed up for the show today. Isn't that what I was saying before we started? I was like, wow, Lewis looks like an extra of Saturday Night Fever.
I'm trying.
I don't like how high that button is, to be honest with you. I feel like you need to take that down a rung or two.
I'm trying to get a mirror ball hung up in the room here. I gotta fix things up.
You are sweating. It seems like you're perspiring. Do you have the night fever?
What?
Yeah, you're glistening a little bit. I thought maybe you had night fever.
Fat fever. I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm dry as a freaking.
I'll tell you who's sweating is me. It's let's see. Yeah, it's 80. Where's my thermometer? It's 85 degrees in here right now. Oh my goodness. It's not even as bad as it was.
66.
66 in there? You son of a gun. Do you have air conditioning going, or is it just not hot there?
San Francisco's naturally air conditioned.
Yeah, Seattle
almost
used to be.
year round.
Yeah. Seattle's sometimes like that. Actually, 9 to 10 months of the year is like that, but not right now. It's really hot in here. Okay, so there you go. There's all our hardware expectations. The one thing I wanted to point out is we are expecting a October event as well.
October surprise.
October surprise, baby. So this will be the iPhone event, and then I think in October we'll have the Mac event. We'll probably get a MacBook Air, new iMacs. We might even get MacBook Pros, although I'm kind of on the fence about that. That would be a year since the MacBook Pros were initially switched over to M1, and it seems kind of fast that they would switch it to M2, but M2's out, so give it a spec bump. That actually would kind of make sense, and that will be the day that I lick my wounds for having just purchased the M1 Max MacBook Pro. But you know what? I got a great deal on it, refurbished, so the refurbished M2 MacBook Pros are not going to be available for a long time, I don't think. All right, Lewis, let's move on. Before we do, though, do we want to talk about the giveaway here, Lewis? You want to do a little giveaway?
Sure, unless you want to do the other thing first.
No, let's do the giveaway real quick.
Like I've been talking like forever already, but I can't
kinda
complain about that to you because that's sort of your thing.
What?
Talking on it.
I now you know what it's like to be me. I just have to sit here and go on and on and on. And I'm like, I feel like I can't stop. It's like a freight train.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I can't stop talking.
Yeah, okay.
Giveaway
Well,
list.
yeah, we got this big giveaway. We just launched it today. It's for a couple of Apple Watch accessories from Bacardo. and they're one of the more kind of unusual
Yeah, for
Apple
sure.
Watch accessory makers.
Mhm.
The first one, and some people absolutely are like, why would you do this? But you could turn your Apple Watch into a pocket watch.
If you're classy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously you don't get any of the like heart monitor stuff, right? I mean,
I was just gonna
it's
say you do lose some of the
you
functionality.
sort of
if you
lose
do
some
this.
functionality. But if you want to have a watch on a chain, these things look cool. They look like something you can pull it out of the pocket of your Zoot suit, man. It'd be just right in the pocket with the
Yeah,
whole like
Absolutely.
style. It's a different look. Some people love it. Some people are like, why would you do that? But honestly, since the first time I saw them, I was like, dang, those look pretty cool. Especially if you had like a second Apple Watch. Think about that.
Yeah, like you do, right?
Yeah, you could carry one in your pocket, have one.
Or
in your
maybe if
wrist.
you were like a train conductor, this would be pretty cool, right?
There's all kinds of situations where this could come in handy. I think also if you swing it around real hard, you can use it like as a kind of like a nunchuck,
Yeah, or maybe you
or
could,
not. It'd be more like a mace and chain, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Anyway,
or if you put it on a long chain and you're swinging this thing around, then as one of the Cultimac riders is escaping, you go and get their feet right. Swings around, then traps their feet, and they trip over themselves, and
those things called bolos.
you got them.
I can't remember. I can never remember the names.
That
of anything.
does that sounds like it might be right.
Yeah.
That's what we need is the Apple Watch Bolo. You put an Apple Watch at each end, and then right,
There,
it would probably work pretty well.
Start up your Squarespace web page. Start selling these by the end of the day.
Apple Watch
You're going to
Bolos.
be rich. This is that golden parachute you've been looking for. Apple Watch Bolos.
AppleWatchBolos.biz. There it is. I'm gonna make. Well, enjoy having me on the show because once this takes off, I'm out of here. This is gonna be a huge product, huge seller.
So, anyway, so what are these things made of? I think they're made of stainless steel. They're beautiful looking things.
Yeah.
So you get one of those, and then a completely different thing. You get a Picardo sports band for your Apple Watch, and this thing's basically like a sweatband.
Yeah.
It holds your Apple Watch. I've never tried one of these either. Supposedly really comfortable. Supposedly really great for playing sports, workouts, et cetera, et cetera. This does have a hole in the back of it so that it can make contact.
Oh
with
yeah,
your
that's good.
face, so you don't lose those features. I mean, it'd be ridiculous to lose those features in this kind of thing. 'Cause it's all about health and fitness. Anyway, so those two things together retail for $189. This giveaway gets two people get a bundle with one of each. So there you go. Go to the just like always, go to the homepage of Cultimac, scroll down to the giveaway area, click in there, enter. You can sign up for our email list. You can sign up for Picardo's email. Everything you do, you get more entries. Rack up those entries, get your chances. You might have a chance at winning.
You got a chance.
Someone does every week.
Mark T says, "Love the giveaway. Odds are good. Odds are good."
That thing. That is one of the more interesting Apple Watch accessories you've seen, right? I mean, it's
definitely.
Very unique.
Yeah, it's very classy, very classy. Let's see here. Can you win if you were in the UK? Asks Apple's Mac. Apple
I
Cot Mac.
believe that this is limited to United States residents. This is one of the great sad things about the internet, right? Like, you can't, the shipping ends up being such a nightmare. You can't make it happen. It's so expensive and so harsh. Let me just check. Let me check. Since I'm a stickler, let me see.
What is with this prejudice against people who live in other geographics?
I
You're
know.
you're a geogist.
About it.
Geogist.
A geogist. Oh,
Yeah, you
terms and
discriminate.
conditions.
You're a geographic discriminator. Unbelievable.
The sweepstakes is governed by the laws of United Kingdom. What?
Oh, so maybe you can only win one if you're in the United
Wouldn't that be funny?
That's probably good to know.
Open to those who sign up at blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't actually see anything. Maybe this one's open.
That's okay, Rage. I forgive you.
I can't be a stickler on this because I actually
Don't
don't
let it
know the
happen
answer to that
again.
question.
There'll be serious
Somewhere in the terms and
consequences.
conditions, I'm sure it says something about something.
All right, look, we're spinning out of control here. This is turning into a gall darn snooze fest. Should we move on?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's talk about a product that I have to admit, Lewis, I actually kind of wanted. This is a brand new version of a product from Apple. You guys may have seen this. Let me see if I can find this here. God, I got my tabs all mixed up here. What happened?
You've got a tab chaos.
Oh, there it is. Tab situation fixed. So you guys know that Lewis is a huge fan of the Kardashians, right? He loves Khloe. He loves Kim. Don't even get him going on Caitlyn Kardashian. Wait. Caitlyn Jenner. Sorry. Not a Kardashian.
I have never once seen this show.
Although part of the Kardashian clan.
Did you ever watch this show?
I have seen it a few times, and I have to admit I was a bit perplexed.
I have never watched it. I have no desire whatsoever to watch it.
I actually would say I have like an anti-desire. Like I'm actively repelled, you know. It's like if it comes on, I immediately just leave the room. But Kim Kardashian, people love her, and she partnered with Apple on a new pair of Beats Fit Pro. And I actually think that these are pretty cool. And they sold out immediately, which I don't know if that's because people just really love Kim Kardashian or if people loved this color of the Beats Fit Pro. So she released her own line. You can get them at, let's see here. Where's the URL? You actually can't get
Apple.com/Kim.
Yeah, you actually can't get them because they're sold out because Lewis bought 5 of every color. But
what? The page you're looking for can't be found.
What? Yeah. Oh, is it? You probably have the link wrong.
That must not be right, huh?
So she released 3 different colors of the Beats Fit Pro. There is like a brown color that fit brown ears. There is a like an olive/tan color that fit olive ears. And then there's like a peach color that fit like white/peach ears. And I actually thought this was a pretty cool idea because most headphones that you wear, they stand out on your head, right? They're white, they're red, they're black. But these are really super minimalist colors, which is why I like them. Like they're all one color. Everything, the case, the actual Beats Fit Pros. I mean, everything about them is all one color. And I like things that are all one color. It's like that minimalist feel, you know? And I was looking at these tan ones. I was like, this is actually kind of cool. But
neutral
unfortunately,
color.
Yeah, they're all, she calls them neutral colors. They're designed to blend in more than most earphones, which is actually a great idea. And
Right.
I got to hand it to Kim Kardashian. I don't know if this was her idea, but it's actually a good one. And now they're all sold out everywhere.
You know, that's I got to say, when I was reading this story, I was like, same kind of thing, like, oh my God, anti-Kardashian. But then I read that quote, it's like you're wearing it every day.
Yeah.
I want it to be able to blend in.
Yeah.
I've never seen any tech products, especially headphones, being neutral colors. It's like she's right. She's right. And well done. I mean, congratulations for her.
Let's see here.
Because,
We got
she
Streamlined.
needed some more money.
Streamline in the hat saying, I've been waiting for skin tone earphones for years. Okay, so clearly this is not as much of a niche as I thought maybe it would be.
It's
But
weird
these are
that
gonna
nobody else
Thought about
pulled
this?
it off.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Isn't that kind of weird?
Minimalist design, I feel like it's just really popular. People just like things that are simple and beautiful. And a lot of people just embellish stuff way too much. Like that's one of the reasons why I love the AirPods. Like they're simple. They're all white. They're all one color,
Especially the old ones, like the white stick sticking out of your ear.
Oh, you know I love those ones. My only problem with the old AirPods is the stems weren't long enough. I think they should have been twice as long. Maybe 3-4 inches, so they're just, pointing down your face. You could use them as like handles to put them in your ears. Think of the battery life too. The battery life would have been incredible on those. You would have gotten like 180 hours of battery life.
That is true.
And not only that, but it would have looked cool to have those like 3 to 4 inch stems just hanging down the side of your face. Yeah.
Especially if you had like some of those, what are those things called when you get like the piercing with the.
Yeah. A gauge.
I know, not in the ears, but in the
lip,
like the lips, so you get like.
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm not sure what those are called. The only other thing I would point out here, since I'm a cultural commentator here, is it looks like she's wearing like a Mylar outfit, doesn't it? Like you see this outfit that she's wearing here? It's like silver or gray, and it looks like it's made out of Mylar. It doesn't look very breathable. It looks very uncomfortable.
She's on TV for an hour. It doesn't matter how comfortable it is.
Yeah, maybe. Did you ever see Raised by Wolves?
No, that's a sci-fi
HBO show.
HBO.
Sci-fi. Yeah,
I heard it's great. Is it great?
I really liked it. It's some of the weirdest sci-fi I've ever seen, but I liked it. And like the 2 androids in it, like they also have to wear outfits like this. They're like they look like some kind of like plastic, like really tight outfit, and it made me uncomfortable to watch them in that because that material looked so uncomfortable. I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that these 2 people had to wear these outfits and they were probably like sweating
You're so
and,
empathetic.
and the sweat is like just trapped in there with
Oh,
you. It's
jeez.
nasty, right? That's what I mean.
It's like
Yeah.
marinated in sweat.
Yeah, like you're just sitting in there dying of sweat, and you have like this plastic outfit on from head to toe. It goes from your neck all the way down to your feet. It's nasty. Anyway, yeah, reminds me of the Intel commercial in the 90s. That's it. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I was like, what does this remind me of? Yeah, it's like that Intel hazmat suit that dude had to wear. That's exactly what this looks like. So all she needs is like the helmet to go on. All right, well. Oh, you can buy them on Amazon still.
Really, they're available on Amazon?
Oh, these are the black, the white, the sage gray, and the stone purple, for $180. Honestly, I kind of want these. Like, are they? Can I actually? Let's see here. Did we put the wrong link in the? Okay, I found them.
Hey, wait a minute. Free delivery August 20th.
Sold out.
No, they got them. Dune on Amazon.
Oh, they got them on Amazon.
Yeah, $199.95. They got the Dune. It says
Okay.
free delivery Saturday,
So you can
August
still
20th.
get them from Amazon. That's cool.
And free delivery tomorrow on the Earth Color.
Dude, okay, so I'm pulling these up on Apple's website. I'm sorry for those of you who are listening to this. I'll do this quickly. But so yeah, like the entire interior of the case, everything is just all one color. The ear tips, the Beats Fit Pro themselves. These are sleek, man. I really like this design. They come in brown, they come in peach. This peach, Lewis, no joke, looks exactly like your skin color. This is it's like these were custom made for your ears.
Which the
peach ones.
What color is that? It's not peach.
Well,
the moon.
Well, I call
moon
it,
color.
That doesn't look anything like the moon. They should call that Lewis Wallace Peach.
Name it. Porky Pig Pink.
God, we're going so far into the weeds here. Cream of wheat.
I'm stunned that they're available from Amazon. Maybe Apple did this as like a, the big sold out is like another way to generate
I think
headlines.
people probably don't realize that you can get them on Amazon.
I just asked one of the writers to maybe update our post. Or
there you go.
Get
some affiliate link action going in there. I wonder how these sound compared to like the regular
Beats Pro.
Yeah, or the
I'm
AirPods.
sure the same.
The AirPods.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never used the Beats ones. No idea. Literally no idea.
Okay. All right. Well, we've gone on and on about this for far too long.
The story that you didn't even think of, I didn't want to do.
I kind of want to buy them, to be honest.
Press the button right now.
Well, then I'd be showing everyone my credit card information, so let's not do it now.
Okay.
Let's wrap up with these last two stories, Lewis. We're going way long.
Jeez.
Let's just do a quick story on Apple stock. If I just stop one day showing up to the show and you guys are like wondering where I am, I'm on my own personal island. I'm having a party. Richard Branson will be there. TC will be there. And it will have been all because of Apple stock. And look, I know that you guys think I'm an innovator, and I don't deny that. But there are others who foresaw Apple stock doing well. It wasn't just me. And one of those people was Warren Buffett.
What does he know?
He must listen to the show.
He gets all his investing advice from the Cult Cast.
Well, look, it's done well for him. Can you deny that? Can you possibly deny that? So, Apple stock, all stock has been not doing well this year, right? And I'll just give you a quick example here. So this was Apple stock. It was at one of its highest points in January. It was at $182 after the split, right? And then it precipitously dropped down. And back in June, it was way down. And I was like, I wonder if this is a good time to buy. But I was like, probably not, because the economy, we might be going into like a recession or something. And it might drop even lower. Well, after that, it hit that price point of $130 in June. It has just been going straight up since then, and we're back almost to an all-time high. It's at 174 as of the time of this recording. Well, check this out. Look who got in just at the right time. Old Wrinkles McMoneybags. Warren Buffett. Actually, he looks great. If I look this good when I'm at his age, I mean, he's like 90, isn't he? He looks fantastic.
I'm sure he can order a new suit of custom skin anytime he wants.
Custom skin? Oh, you mean like has it? Yeah, definitely. He's definitely had a few skin changes himself. He slithers out of it like a snake after it, right? Leaves it there behind him. So Warren Buffett owned Warren Buffett owned firm Berkshire Hathaway purchased nearly $4 million more shares in the second quarter of 2022 of Apple stock, according to regulatory documents. Now, I was looking at what second quarter. So first quarter is January, February, March, April, May, June. So in the April, May, June time zone, I guarantee you it wasn't in April. It was probably in May or June, like right when the price plummeted. Berkshire Hathaway purchased another huge treasure trove of Apple stock, man. Apple stock just got upgraded too because people think it's going to do really well all of a sudden. And I'm like, I could have told you that. Let's see here. Berkshire Hathaway's acquisitions in the second quarter follow more share purchases in the first quarter. Oh, so they purchased $600 million in Q1 of 2022. Buffett is known for shying away from high-flying stocks. The investors clearly identified Apple as an exception and has proven to be one of his best investments. Analysts have drawn comparisons between Buffett's holdings in Apple and his experience investing in Coca-Cola. Buffett's Apple holdings have churned quite a profit for the investment mogul, who earned around $100 billion from Apple between 2016 and 2022. If it's good enough for Warren Buffett, it's good enough for me, Lewis. I've got diamond hands.
What do they call him? Like this, the Sage of Omaha, right?
Yeah, is that what they call him?
I believe so.
Let me see. How much is my Apple stock worth as of this very moment? Should we look?
Dare you
So for
speak
those
it out
of you
loud?
that are new or don't know, I purchased $100,000 worth of Apple stock, I think 2 years ago maybe. And as of this recording, it is currently worth $162,938. It's not quite buy an island and have a party with TC money, but imagine it in 10 years, Lewis.
You could buy an electric car with the extended range. You don't have to settle for the 150 mile model. Go for the full 303 miles.
That sounds tempting.
Ah!
You know, the thing about buying expensive electric cars, though, Lewis, is, and this is something that people never talk about with electric cars. Look, I love electric cars, but this is a problem they need to solve. And this happened to me. I'm speaking from personal experience. Battery degradation, Lewis. Battery degradation.
In an electric car?
Yeah. Like, as the battery gets older, its range is severely decreased. And then eventually, the battery just stops working. And now your car doesn't work anymore. And now you got to spend, $10,000, $20,000 for a car. And I didn't have an electric vehicle. I had a hybrid vehicle, and this happened to me. I've told this story before, so I'll do it quick. And it started having problems. It started giving me issues. And then the check engine light came on. And I was like, oh, no. So I take it to the Ford dealership. It was a Ford Escape hybrid. And the guy does his diagnostics on it, and he's like, we're getting a battery issue error. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This car has 100,000 miles on it. And he goes, yeah. And he's doing some more diagnostics. He's like, well, I hate to tell you. He's like, but you need to replace your battery. And I was like, dude, this car has 100,000 miles. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, how much does it cost to replace the battery? He's like, well, $6,000 maybe, plus tax. And I'm like, that's more than the car is worth. It's a 2012 maybe at this point. I guess at that point, because the point is fixed. Once the car is made, it's just always that year. But I was like, dude, the car isn't worth that much money. He's like, yeah. And I was like, are you telling me that my Ford with 100,000 miles is basically worthless now? And the guy didn't know what to say.
Guess we got you.
And as I left, he high-fived all his mechanic friends, and I ended up selling that car for like half of what it was worth to somebody who I disclosed. I'm like, it may need a new battery. You can buy one refurbished. That's the thing about electric cars no one ever talks about, and it's why I would probably never buy another used hybrid vehicle, because you just don't know the condition of the battery.
Right.
And it's not if, it's when the battery goes out. And then you're stuck with this car that doesn't work without the battery. Because spoiler alert, if you have a hybrid or electric car, I mean, you might think a hybrid works without the battery. I guess not. That's what I asked. I was like, well, can I just drive with the motor and no battery? He's like, no, can't do it.
And you can't just go down to Costco and pick up a New battery.
No, and your only
Install
other
it yourself.
option is to buy a refurbished battery. And basically, these refurbished places are like the mystical arts. You're not really sure exactly what they're doing or how it works, and they buy battery packs off the used market, right? And then they will take it apart. They'll find the cells that are bad, and they'll replace them with cells that are working. But the problem is they only give you a short warranty, and they cost like thousands and thousands of dollars for these battery packs. And what happens if more cells go bad after you buy this replacement battery pack? I mean, you're really SOL if your battery pack goes out in your used vehicle. I don't think it happens very often, but the best warranties on the battery packs from the manufacturer, I think, are like 100,000 miles, and after that, you're on your own. And if that person didn't take care of that battery, or if they lived in a really hot or cold climate, or they didn't drive the car very often, like never buy an old low mileage hybrid. That's the worst thing, because the batteries, because it's not like and it's contrary logic to buying a car with an engine, a regular engine, right? Because you want lower mileage because it means it has less wear. But the batteries need to be used in order to be maintained. So if you buy a older hybrid vehicle with low mileage, that means it was just sitting there, and that's exactly what destroys your battery.
Like a MacBook on a stand plugged into the wall.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good analogy. So that's that's not about Apple stuff. It's neither here nor there. So, but I want to give you guys a
How
heads
did
up.
we get off on that tangent?
I don't know.
This might be a record. Like we were on 4 or 5 tangents.
Okay, this is now that we're 4 or 5 tangents, we need to really wrap it up, because that's all the tangents I got in me at this point, at this time. So, but we got to at least talk about the metaverse before we get out of here, Lewis. Because I was reading this story and I couldn't stop smiling, because when I saw what the metaverse was turning into, I just said to myself, how did we get here, Lewis? How did we get here? Where they changed the name of Facebook to Meta because they're so bought in on Meta, and yet this is what the vision is. This the vision? Is this really the vision?
Yeah, pull up Zuckerberg's Facebook account. You'll see he posted this earlier this week. It's unbelievable. We're launching Horizon Worlds in France and Spain today. Looking forward to seeing people explore and build immersive worlds, and to bringing this to more countries soon. And this terrible picture of him with like Eiffel Tower in the background, Sagrada Familia. Oh my God, it's just unbelievable. And him in the front looking like some kind of like alien from a cheap sci-fi cartoon. I mean, he couldn't look more robotic, couldn't look less human or, I don't know, interesting. It's, oh my God. And it had a really good effect on people had a lot of great takes on it. I mean, I love it. If you go and search for him on, search for Mark Zuckerberg, you'll see headline after headline of people just reaming him for this. And they're just like, so we just wanted to go over some of these headlines, right? So this is awesome. Kotaku, their headline is, Mark Zuckerberg's soulless metaverse avatar has me worried about our digital future. And I love their this little take from them. Unfortunately for anyone eager to experience our glorious virtual future, what Zuckerberg has shown off of his vision of said future looks boring, drab, generic, and really, I don't know if I can say that S word on the radio or whatever we are here, a podcast. We try to not use the adult language, right? So I just say really S-y.
Looks really poopy.
It also serves as a nice reminder that rich tech bros shouldn't be in charge of the future. Who else? Fortune had a nice headline that was really a great one. Mark Zuckerberg's $10 billion selfie is an international laughingstock. That's the kind of headline. I don't think that's the kind of headline he was hoping for when he posted this stupid little thing on Facebook.
He is getting roasted hardcore.
Oh,
wow.
Full drag everywhere.
And so for those of you who aren't like keeping up with this story, I have to admit, I kind of wasn't really either. But I think the hook here is like, didn't they spend, the article said they've spent like $10 billion or something. They've bet the future of the company on the metaverse. And the examples they have shown so far have been, they look like video game examples from like the early 2000s. And it's like, and like he posts them in these posts that are supposed to like exemplify how proud they are of like their accomplishment with the metaverse. but the examples they've shown are so bad. And it's like, this is the future that you think that people are going to get excited about? This looks like a video game from 2002.
They don't even have legs, these avatars. And
Whoops.
like, have you seen the one of Zuckerberg and Neil deGrasse Tyson? High
And they were
fiving,
trying to like,
mechanical. It's literally like unbelievable that they're even showing anybody this. I mean, if you were involved with this company, you would think that, like, the one thing you would do is fire everybody involved or something. I mean, this can't be what the future is, right? I mean,
well, this is not the future. I mean, that's the part that makes this whole story so funny.
how
Is
could
like,
they have gone so wrong?
it's like the Homer car. That's the only analogy I can think of, where you spend like all of this money on research and development, and then you come out and everyone's like, "What the hell is this?" And yet,
Uh,
look at this screenshot. Look how far we've come in 24 years. Mind blowing to behold. This is truly the future. And someone's showing like, I don't know what Zelda game this is, unfortunately, but it looks like it's on the N64, so a console that's like 20 years old. And
yeah, it's hilarious.
they have to
They
come
got-
up with something truly compelling to get people to be interested in the metaverse. And this ain't it, champ.
Oh my God. Yeah, I get a real kick reading these things. Who was it? Forbes had a thing, their headline was, "Does Mark Zuckerberg not understand how bad his metaverse looks?" And that's the question. What is he high on his own supply? How is he looking at this and going, "Yeah, this is something I want somebody to see"? If I was in charge of that company, I would be doing anything I could to keep anyone from seeing this crap.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I don't get it.
As opposed to like displaying it proudly like it's some huge
Right.
accomplishment.
Yay, look what we just launched.
It really does look like a video game from 2002.
It's horrific. Who wants to be involved with that?
I mean, especially to like spend money on the equipment and everything. And I keep thinking like, am I missing something? Is there something that I'm missing? But I don't think so. I think that's the irony of the story, right? Is like he's promoting this as though it's some big accomplishment, but then people see it and they're like, dude, this is like one of the most terrible looking video games I've ever seen. And this is supposed to be the future of Facebook, so much that you change the name of Facebook to Meta, and you've spent $10 billion creating this universe. People are already unconvinced about metaverse and what you're supposed to do in it and why you would want to participate in it. And then you go out and you show like these awkward examples of like you trying to high five or fist bump Neil deGrasse Tyson. It doesn't even work.
Oh, right, it was a fist bump, not a
It was
high
a fist
five.
bump, I think. And then you have like these really low graphic screenshots of like what it's like to be next to the Eiffel Tower in this world that looks like a game from Windows 95. You know what I mean? It's just very bizarre.
It's yeah. I mean, I keep thinking I ought to buy one of these things, these quests, just to see what's going on, just so I know. But I just can't do it. I talk about repellent. I mean, that is repellent. I do not want anything to do with it.
I don't think most people would want anything to do with it.
Maybe the kids love it. I can't imagine that they do. The kids don't love Facebook, so why would they love this?
Someone compared it to Second Life from 2007, and that's
Right.
actually not a bad analogy.
So Second Life ones have legs.
I mean, honestly, Second Life
Looks better.
in some ways does look better. I could see like if they were like, well, we're early days, right? And things are gonna get better, and
We're only 10 billion into this thing.
but the fact that you're promoting this as though this is the final product is what is troubling to me. It's like if you'd shown this and you're like, well, we're early days, like this is like alpha stage, right? We're just getting the concepts in place. But that doesn't seem to be the spirit of this post. Like it seems like he's like, look at this, look what you'll be able to do. I'm standing next to the Eiffel Tower. Woohoo! His eyebrows look nice though.
Jeez.
And that haircut is actually eerily accurate as well.
Kind of,
Yeah.
almost an improvement, but
All right,
Oh,
well,
jeez.
if you need me, I'll be in the actual verse as opposed to this.
Oh, it's fun to make fun of Mark
hopefully
Zuckerberg once in a while.
Hopefully the Apple verse will be more fleshed out than this. You know?
Yeah, surely Apple is going to come up with something that makes it worthwhile.
Because this is one of those things where if you showed it to Steve Jobs, he would grimace and scowl at you, and he would be like, "We don't have a product." Right?
And you don't have a job.
And you may not even have a life after today. I have to talk to TC about it.
I'm going to see if I can retract your options.
Yeah, exactly. He would recall all of your Apple stock. It's not even legal, but somehow he would make it. He would make that happen. All right, everyone. What better note to wrap up on than that? That's all the ClickCasts we have for you guys this week. But if you want the fun to continue, we're both in the actual verse on Twitter. I'm at Erfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Walls. Listen to the ClickCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the ClickCast come out every Thursday. I want to thank everyone for listening and for watching live. Hey, look at this. The U.S. Mullet Championships are underway, and these mullets are a sight to behold. I might be looking at this article after the show's over. I want to thank everyone for listening. We should have just done that story. That probably would have got some serious clicks. And we'll see you guys next time. Seriously, should we take a look at these mullets, Lewis? Oh, man, that is glorious. That might be the best mullet I've ever seen.
It's been a while since I've had a mullet.
Yeah. What?
Those were the glory days.
2-3 years?
2 or 3 years, yeah.
I will pay you $100 to grow a mullet. $100. If you grow a mullet, I will give you $100.
I think my mullet days are over.
I don't think so, man. I think you could do it.
You could do it.
I definitely could do it. I don't think it would be a very good look for me, but if I needed to, I could pull it off. Think about it, Lewis. $100. How much would I have to give you to grow a mullet, Lewis?
$10 billion.
What do you think? What do you think? I got metaverse money? All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm hovering towards the end stream button as we speak. Have a great weekend. Bye, y'all. Hit the like button. Don't forget the likes. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget
every time I hear
like,
it,
comment,
it's
subscribe.
so sad. Oh, please, would you please
Don't forget to
click
share.
like and
Share with your
subscribe
friends. I know that always cracks me up too. It's like